There's almost an accusation in the air that the SAGE, the scientific advisors to the government, and independent SAGE, that's the weird thing. There's almost that they're somehow pulling the wool over our eyes. And it's coming almost entirely from established media. It's coming almost entirely from right-wing newspapers. The same, we don't need to go down that road. And I don't understand why. And I know it works. So the polling today, YouGov's done some really interesting polling. I think support for the second lockdown is in excess of 70%. When is the last time in these islands we could say over 70% of the population, according to the latest polling, is on this side of an argument? What argument would it be? It's impossible to speculate. And yet I turn to my media, and I know possibly I spend too much time focusing upon what I consider to be very dangerous media outlets do, but I think you'd agree over the last few years the danger they can do has become pretty clear. I find myself looking at the media and this attempt now to sort of pooh-pooh the science, or to say, well, this graph doesn't quite do what it's meant to do, or why are they doing this with the numbers? And I don't get it. I don't get it on two levels. The first level I don't get it on is, why would we not put our trust, our intelligent trust, our questioning trust, our scrutinising trust in people who've spent their lives studying this stuff, and people who've risen to the top of various professions looking specifically at the stuff that's under discussion? Where does that urge come from? Nobody likes this. Nobody wants a lockdown in the purest sense of the word. Nobody's sort of sitting there thinking that even if we didn't have coronavirus, I'd love to lock down for a month and batten down the hatches and, start a new jigsaw, whatever it may be. It's a nightmare for every single one of us to various degrees. For some people, it might be an unbearable nightmare in the literal and most horrible sense. But for the rest of us, it's just a pain in the... it is just awful. Nobody wants it. So where does this idea come from that it's been inflicted upon us in bad faith? The nonsense that the government doesn't take economic considerations into account. You could just about sustain that argument if you wanted to pretend that the Treasury or the Office of Budgetary Responsibility or the Office of National Statistics, or most obviously the Treasury doesn't. Do you think the Treasury isn't involved in the conversations about what they're going to do? It's weird, isn't it? Go back 6 months and following the science was the defence. And now, why are they following the science? They should be following the money. Has morphed almost 180 degrees.